Today, we are going to be looking at one of the crucial components of GTD, the project list. So stay with me. Well, hi everyone. I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. If you're new here, I want to say welcome. If you are returning, I'd like to say welcome back. Always happy to see you. Today, we are going to be looking at another component in the GTD process, and I would say it's one of the keystone components. Now, if you're not sure about GTD, GTD is the process for productivity written by David Allen. And one of the things that he always talks about in getting things done, or GTD for short, is that anything that takes more than one or two steps to complete should really be a project for you. Now, if it is something that is kind of routine that you do over and over, you may not need to create a project for that. But anything that is brand new to you, a few steps in the process, you might want to go ahead and create a project. Now, why do you need to make it a project? Well, when you take a big task, like I have a task coming up this month to move my greenhouse. When you have a task like that, there are lots and lots of steps that you need to do. And I don't necessarily need to complete all of those steps in one day or at one time. And if I have it broken down into those small next actions, as David calls them, then as I have a few minutes here and there, I can work on it little by little and progress that project forward to completion. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. David Allen, in many of his talks, always says one of the first things that he asks people is, let me see your projects list so that I have an idea of what you have on your plate. So today, you guys get to take a look at my project list. I'm going to be organizing this project list a little bit differently than I normally do. Oftentimes, I just rely on my pages in my OneNote notebook to tell me what my project list is. But since I downloaded the project management notebook from Jenuine Studios, which I will have a link in the bottom in the description, I am going to try some of her templates. So what I've done is I've taken her template and implemented it into my project notebook. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, as you can see here on my screen, this is the project's index from the Jenuine Studio Planner. I did an entire video, actually a couple of videos, on the Jenuine Studios Planner. I will link those up above for you to check out. But today I want to focus on this project's index page, okay? All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. Really, all this page is one giant container that you see this gray box here is one giant container. And within that giant container, Jen, who is the creator at Jenuine Studios, has ongoing projects and then a table nested under that. And further down, she has completed projects and a table nested under that. And abandoned projects and a table nested under that, okay? All right, so going back up to the top, you can see what I have done here is I've gone through all of the projects that I have listed over here on my pages. Now, like I said a few minutes ago, normally I will simply keep my projects listed here, and anything that gets completed gets moved down and gets an asterisk or a caret put next to it, okay? So for example, if I were to ever finish this basement project, which I don't think I will ever finish, I don't know. But if I were to finish it, I would simply come in here and put a caret at the beginning, and then on my pages, I would grab that page and I would pull it down into the completed projects, like so, okay? That's how I would keep track of what's finished and what's not finished. All right, let's undo that because that project is not finished, may never be finished. I don't know. Okay, let's go back to our index. And you see here that I'm trying to organize it in a little bit different way. So let me explain to you what I'm doing. I am using this project index from Jenuine Studios, and I'm using it the way that she had it set up. So she gave things a project number, and what I have decided to do for the project number is I've decided to use the year. So for example here, 23, and then whatever project number would come next, 09, getting ready for guests. And you see that they're kind of out of order, and that's okay. I've been moving them around as I've been working on them. But you'll see down here, the basement clean out project, the dreaded procrastination project of all times, is down here, and it has a number of 2106 because I set up that project plan in 2021 during the pandemic thinking, yay, I've got all this time, I'll get this done. It didn't happen. Anyway, so it's there as a project that is now 2 years old. And that's okay because I'm working little by little on that project and I'm doing the best that I can, and that's all that I can expect from myself. Okay? All right, so that's what the project number is. The project name, you see, I have a link to. Now, Jen recommends that you could either link your project number, but I prefer to link the name because it's a little more descriptive for me. Okay? And then we're going to talk about those links in just a minute and how to add those. Because I do have another project that I need to add to this list. Then the location column that's here, you know, I was thinking, well, location, should that be home, or is it a church project, or is it, you know, something about traveling to a different state or something like that? I don't really know. I'm not sure that I'm going to keep that column here. If I want to get rid of it, all I need to do is highlight the column, go down here to table, go to delete columns, and it takes care of it. It gets rid of it. Okay. I can bring it back by hitting the undo button. So anything that I want to get rid of will be very easy to modify because this entire project plan index is set up as a table, which I think is great. It makes it very easy to use. Okay. Then the date here, I can either put the date that that project was completed, or I could add another column and say it needs to be completed by, for example, right here, my nephew's graduation quilt. He graduates in June of 2024. So I put next to that it needs to be done by 2024. Could I add another column for completion date? Yes. I could do that. So I may change location to date created and then date completed. It's a modification that would be easy to make, okay? The next column over is a description. So that is simply a place for me to write down a quick description of what that particular project is. And then the next column is who the project manager is, meaning in our household or at church, who is in charge of that project, and then who are the support people who are working on that project, okay? The file location directory is the last column over here, and you see I have nothing in that. I'm not sure that I'm going to need that because all of my file location information is stored on my project master plan for each of these projects, okay? And this master plan is something that I have been using for 3 or 4 years. I tweak it now and then, but it is kind of my go-to project planner, okay? So let me show you that master plan. I'm going to go over here to my pages. And in this instance, I am going to create a link, and I'm going to put it at the top of this projects index. I'm going to put it in this little table that I created here so that I can always jump right to that projects master if I need to create a new project plan. Okay. Now, let me show you how I created. Let me get rid of this and I'll show you how I created that entire thing. So I'm going to put my mouse up here. I'll put my cursor up here. I'm going to go up to the insert menu and I'm going to say insert a table. And I'm going to do it 1 column, let's say by 2 columns like that. And then all I did is I went in here to table shading and I made it a light gray, like so. Okay, so it stands out a little bit there. Okay, now let's jump over to my projects master. Here is my projects master file. If you have followed me for any time, you have seen this file being used from time to time. I keep additional support items that I might need over here on the side so that I can adjust that into my project plan as needed. Excuse me, Putian needs to come in. Putian is very smart. She has a little jingle bell on the front door that she jingles with her little paw when she wants to come in. Did you have fun outside? All right, go take a nap now. All right, sorry about that interruption. My project plan has some basic elements on it that I use when creating a project. There's a place for the project name, the purpose of the project, the outcome, or as David Allen says, what does done look like, meaning a vision of what that finished project is. Because as you all know, some projects can go on and on and on and never be completely finished unless you establish for yourself an end date or what done should look like, okay? And then a target date here for when you would like that finished. I also have a contact information in case it's something that you are working with somebody on this project and you have a place to put their contact information. I also have a task description. That's that part of breaking that big project down into little steps so that you can get it accomplished. I also have an expense tracker down here if it is a project that requires money. And I left a space here where you see this photograph of a dining room just to kind of give me a reminder that, you know, it might be a nice idea to put a visual in there of what done looks like. Or if it's a project I'm working on, to put a photograph of a before and after, okay? Then I also have a contact log. Let's say I have to call a company over and over and over to work things out. I want to be able to have a record of that. And let me show you some of these other components. This one up here I have set up as kind of a milestone. So maybe it is a big project like doing a quilt, and there's all the prep work about picking out the fabric and the pattern and, you know, purchasing all of those things. Then there's the second big milestone, which is actually piecing the top, which has, you know, cutting out the fabric, reading the pattern and making sure everything is right, getting it all sewn together and squared up, and then going ahead and making the backing. And the final part is actually getting it quilted. So putting the backing and the batting together along with the quilt top, taking it to the long armor, bringing it home, putting the binding on it, getting it all, you know, hand sewn and finished. So major milestones can also be broken down into things. So that's why these are here. These are also another place for pictures if you want to do that. And then down here, I have, this is basically a checkbox that I got from Happy Plans. And it is, you know, there's a checkbox of things here. So maybe this could be a list of materials that you want, maybe a place for another picture or design sketch idea if you're doing a block layout. And then just another section down here for notes. And this last thing that I have, this was how I used to do projects, is I used to keep file folders like this with all of that information and all the things tucked inside. I like that there just as a reminder of how I used to do it old school, you know, so to speak. Anyway, so this is my project master. And what I want to do here is I want to go over and right click on the file name Project Master, and I want to say copy link to page. And when I do that, I'm going to go back to my projects index, and I can go right up here into that table that I created, and I can click paste. And you see it comes up as Projects Master. It is already underlined. It is already ready to go. I don't have to do insert link. I don't have to do any of that stuff. And when I click on it, it will take me back to my Project Master. Okay. Now, if I wanted to also put a link to my projects index here, it's the same process. I right click on it and say copy link. Then I can go to my Project Master, and I can insert that right up here, like so. And then if I'm on this page and I need to create something, I can quickly get back to my index page, okay? So I'm creating backlinks, as it were, so that I can go from page to page, all right? So very easy to do it that way. Could I do insert link and type that information in? Yes, let me show you how to do it that way. So from here, as an alternative way to insert this project's master, I could go up to my insert menu and I could click on that, and I could come over here to link, and my link dialog box will come up and it would say, what text do I want to display? And here I could type project master, and it would ask me for the address for that, or I could go down here into projects and I could choose this page, projects master, say okay, and there it is. Takes me to the same place. I can get back to my index. That one takes me to the same place. It's just a separate, different way of doing it, okay? Now, it doesn't matter which way you do it, which way you want to work that out. It's personally up to you. It doesn't really matter, okay? I just find the clicking on it and pasting it is very quick and very simple. Now, as I was talking about earlier, all of these tables are in one container. That means as I add something to this table that's here at the top, my ongoing projects, the rest of them will shuffle down and move, and they won't overlap, okay? So right now I need to add a new project that's actually a recurring project that happens every year, and that project is creating a holiday card, okay? So I'm going to come down here to the very, very bottom row, and I am simply going to hit the tab key, and you see that it creates a new row for me down here at the bottom, all right? And when I look back at my list, I think 2316 is my last project number, so I'm going to call this one 2317. And this Christmas card project or holiday card project is something that I created a while ago. So to find it quickly, I'm going to go up here to my search menu, and I'm going to try to type in holiday. I see lots of holiday cards, plans, baking. Oh, holiday card project. There it is. And when I click on that, you will see very much I have that project plan, and I have all of the steps listed out here. I've already done all the thinking about what I need to do to get a holiday card ready to send out this year. Okay? All right. So again, I am going to go up to this page. I am going to right click. I am going to say copy link to page. And then I am going back to my planner, which I can just hit the back arrow if I want. That takes me back as well. And I'm going to go down here to the project title, and I'm just going to click print. Not print. Paste. Just going to click paste. Oh boy. I think I've only had a half a cup of coffee today, so maybe that's the problem. Anyway, the date for the creation of this is October the 1st. And what is it? It is a Christmas card to send out. All right. And who will spearhead that? Well, probably me, because I'm the one who has to say to everybody, we're going to do this. But my husband is the photographer. And of course, I need to have my daughter involved as well. Okay. All right. So that's that simple to add a new project to your project list. All right. Now, remember, by clicking on this link, I can get back and see all of those steps. That's important when I do my weekly review, because I will look at the projects that I'm currently working on and go down the list and say, okay, these are checked off. What needs to happen next? What are my next actions for that project? Okay. So having those links are great. Now, let's say that a project is finished, okay? For example, this project up here, Getting Ready for Guests, that is finished. We completed that last month, and now I'm ready to move that out of my ongoing down to my completed, okay? I do not have to copy everything. I do not have to rewrite everything. All I need to do is go out here to this little tiny gray box, Hopefully you guys can see that. And I can grab that, and you see it is moving that through this entire table. And it's actually going to bump it down into the next one, which is now completed. And I'm going to let it go all the way down to the bottom of that one and leave it right there. Okay, that is so cool. I think that is awesome. Now it's a completed project and it is in its right place. Okay. Also, that Christmas card holiday project that I just put in there, that probably needs to be moved up because, you know, the holidays are right around the corner. And I'm afraid if I leave this at the bottom of the list, I will forget about it. So again, I'm grabbing that gray box and I'm going to drag this all the way up to the very top. Okay. So that when I look at my project list, that one will stand out. Now, could I highlight it and make it stand out even more? Meaning these are the ones that I need to work on right now? Absolutely. So let's go to our highlighter and let's see, let's highlight this. We'll do this whole thing and we will highlight it and let's make it a bright yellow so it stands out. Now, when I look at this page, that automatically stands out to me that that is the thing that I am currently working on. I am also currently working on getting the pool down and moving the greenhouse into the backyard. Okay. Now, you may look at this greenhouse move and you may say, but Crystal, it has a little caret there, which means you did that already. Yes, I did that. And when I click on it, you'll see that I moved it from the backyard to the front yard this spring. So you see all of these boxes here are checked. What I need to do now is I need to go in and uncheck those boxes because in the fall, the front yard doesn't get as much sun and there's no electricity out there. So I need to move the greenhouse again from the front yard to the backyard. And it goes in the location where our little above ground pool normally sits. Okay. So I can uncheck all of those and now I am ready to use this project page for that move. Over here you see the greenhouse is in place and this is its summer location. All right, and so I can put that text box there so that I know what that picture is. That's what done looks like for the summer location. And then I can create something for what it looks like in the fall. Okay. Did that in May. So I can now delete all of those dates and I'm ready to go. Okay. So you see the purpose here is to move from the summer to the winter locations back and forth. The steps are pretty much the same. I got to clean it out. I got to move it. I got to move the pots and plants and tables that are in there and put it in its new location. For the winter time, instead of disconnecting the electric, I have to connect the electric. And that's so that I can use lights and things for those cold winter nights. Okay? All right, so back to our project list. Those are the current 3 projects, the big 3 that I'm going to be working on here at the end of September and moving into October. All right. Let's see. Oh, here's another one that I finished. So again, I can grab that and pull it down into finished. Does it matter where they go in the finished list? Not to me. To some people, they may want them in sequential order. It doesn't matter to me. I just know at the end of the year, when I come back and I look at all of the things that I was able to accomplish this year, it makes me feel good. I have at least one thing per month, one big thing per month that I've been working on, which makes me feel really good. Okay. All right. And then down here at the very bottom, we have the abandoned section. And so far I have abandoned no projects. I just keep hanging on to that stupid basement project, which was the bane of my existence. Anyway, it's a project that I created for myself. It's a problem that I created for myself, and I am going to have to take care of it. But as David Allen would tell you in his Getting Things Done book, most of the projects that we have, most of the stress that we put on ourselves comes from ourselves, okay? If I had not moved all of the things from my mother's house when she passed away and put them in my basement, I would not have that problem because those things would have been gone by now. Okay? All right. Well, there you have it. I think in my own mind, David Allen would be very proud of me when he looks at the way I have organized my projects list. And if he were to come and say, Crystal, let me see your projects list, I could very easily pull this up, show him all of the projects that I'm working on, even be able to click to specific details, images, what done looks like, all of that for many, many of these projects. Okay, so I have a link here from my project list to my quilt project list. Let me show you that one. So this is a project list that I created years and years ago, back in 2014. And you see here that I have the date that I worked on the project, and who the recipient was, who it was made for, the fabric that I use, and then I have all of the steps. When did I cut it, piece it, assemble it, put the backing on, pin and baste it, quilt it, binding, cut, bound, photographed, and presented. Okay, so that's all of the steps for me for making a quilt. And you see I have all the way up here until this year when I have Sarah's graduation quilt. I have the April Showers table runner that I made this year, and the yellow and blue scrap quilt that I made. Somebody gave me a challenge. They gave me a bag of scraps and said, well, Miss Scrappy Girl, make a quilt out of this. And it's actually quite beautiful and quite large. Once I get that one completely quilted, I'll share it with you guys. Anyway, let's see. Back to our project list. So keeping a list of your projects is a great way to help stay on track, keep you motivated, be able to know what the next items are that you need to get done. And because you've done all this thinking, you've gotten it out of your head and put it in a trusted location, you don't have to worry about forgetting it because it's always there. You just have to look for it. Okay? All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this projects index discussion today. Please leave me a comment and let me know how you organize your projects, how you keep track of what you're doing and when you're doing it. I would love to hear about that. And remember, I'll have a link to Jenuine Studios project management notebook in the description below. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is something that I purchased and I just have found it very useful and wanted to share that with you. Okay? All right. Well, until next time, keep working on those projects. And here's hoping that you can live a more organized and simplified life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time. Okay, bye. Say goodbye, Putian. She's taking her bath. Bye, everybody.